Today, size matters. I know, it's a little bit bold, just stick with me here, as we are taking a look at this stupidly massive, unrealistically possible, realistically elevator, which I've been working on for like a month. I mean, that's a month of no exercise, that's a month of no sunlight. I mean, there's nothing unusual there, but the fact that this took a month is pretty impressive. Now, this thing has 60 freaking floors. 60! Now, probably the most impressive thing about all of this is this is in fact the currently biggest elevator for both Bedrock and Java. Of course, that doesn't include the wimpy way out using water elevators or scaffolding or ladders. I mean, those of you who use our wimps, don't bother taking a look at my own survival. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is the biggest. I don't know 100%. Anyway, that's enough of me getting emotionally attached to a bunch of ones and zeros. Let's take a look at this thing, shall we? So this is an elevator with 60 floors. It has a crazy fast elevator which was originally created, the concept of, by JL Elevator. I'm pretty sure you've all have seen it. So this thing can travel at about 7 blocks per second. It's a little bit less, but I've just rounded it up. It can go from the bottom to the top in less than 45 seconds. I'm just in love. Hello everyone, my name's Tomco. Welcome back to another Redstone video for the Bedrock edition of Minecraft. So today I have something extremely special planned for you, as I've been working on this for ages. It's literally taken up all my time over the past 2 weeks, over the holidays and that. This is what I've been working on. It is a 60 floor, multi-floor elevator. This thing's massive. So let me just showcase this thing off to you. Now, what most of you are probably wondering is, how on earth have I done this? I've just done something magical, you know. I've compacted 60 floors into only a handful of buttons. Well, I used my very big, very last brain cell on this one. I've done something weird. So I've forced you to do maths every time you want to use this thing. So if you notice on the left, it goes up in 10. So it goes 10, 20, 30 and so on, all the way up to 60, which is the very top floor. And then over on the right over here, as you can see, it goes up in 1. So from 1 all the way up to numero 9 over here. So for example, let's say you wanted to go to 60, let's say you want to go all the way to the top, you will just have to press that 60 button and nothing else. However, let's say you want to be annoying and you wanted to go to something like 47, you will click the number 40 and you will click the number 7, as those two add up to 47. You get what I mean. I'm going all the way up to 59 just to show off this weird button thing, and it does actually work. I haven't just made it up. On the bottom over there, you're probably noticing that piston moving back and forth. That's the way this thing works. The way we've managed to make it so small is that it relies on signals. So basically it works like a computer where it relies on ones and zeros. So for example, if you wanted to go to floor number 10, it would put 10 signals down that line. Let's say you want to go to number 59, it will put 59 signals, and each floor knows exactly how many signals it needs before it chooses it. And as you can see, we have set off straight away. If you look in the top left corner right now, you can see how fast we are actually going. This thing, it's just insane, isn't it? So if you look on the top, as you can see, there is a roof there. However, it's a little bit glitchy. Now, I must add, if we've got a pretty low end device, because for example my Xbox One S cannot run this at full speed. In fact, I'm currently playing on my phone, as my phone is newer than my Xbox, and my phone can run it just fine, but my Xbox cannot. So bear that in mind. It might not be this fast for every single one of you, however it will still work. It just may be a tidgy bit slow or something. And we are almost there. As you can see, we are flying past every one of these floors, and there we go, we have made it to floor number 59. It's just insane. So now on to floor number 59. If you wanted to, we could go up to the 60th floor, but I can't be bothered. So let's say we left something on floor number 4. No, let's say 16. And there we go. As you can see, for me it does seem faster going down, but I can assure you that they are the exact same speeds, and I have tried to make this quicker. However, any quicker, because Bedrock is such an unreliable game, which has made it so goddamn difficult to actually get correctly any quicker than this. It does sometimes work, however most of the time it just gives up halfway through, which Bedrock, fix your game just so I can do stupid stuff, please. And as you can see, you can't go back and forth. However, it does do a little visual glitch where it disappears for every now and then, but I can assure you it is there, and we are on floor number 16. How about that, hey? Now, this elevator does have a core function, so for whatever reason, let's say there's multiple person on a world and suddenly went up to 50 and the elevator is no longer there. So let's say I am on floor number, let's change this. Let's say that I am number floor 31, of course, we left the elevator on floor 16. Oh no, how do we get up here? So, there is a handy dandy call button over here. So when we press this, we know that the elevator is eventually going to get to our floor. Now, I must note that the higher floor you are on, the longer the elevator is going to take to get to you. Not just because the speed of the elevator goes, it's just going to take longer, but also the bigger the floor, the more signals that it has to press. And there we go. As you can see, it has just made it to our floor. So if we turn around, as you can see, this thing is pretty insane. It goes all the way up to the top. As you can see, that's not even loaded in fully. If you fly for a bit, it will keep on going. This thing is insane. I mean, if I just fly in a little bit deeper right here, as you can see, it's so freaking compact. So now that I'm on the top, you can actually see the actual scale of this. Now, when you're at the top, it doesn't look as big as you did when on the side. So in front of me here, I have like a simplified, completely stripped version of that elevator over there. Now bear in mind, there is two of these right next to each other, so that means that it's a two wide capsule, but I just sort of split it down in the middle just so I can do this demonstration and make it a titty bit simpler. So I'm going to try my best and replicate that the order of that does using redstone blocks. So to do that, what you would do is you would extend this piston like so, which means that the block would move from there up to there, and then what would happen is this sticky piston, this would extend downwards, meaning that this line block is now connected to this block over here, and then it will extend upwards and this one will extend downwards. Now the same thing would happen for the next one. So what would happen, this one would extend upwards and then this one would extend downwards, this one will retract and then this one will retract, and then what would happen, this would extend, this would extend, this will retract and this will retract, and as you can see, it is slowly making its way up to the top. However, this would happen extremely quickly in that one. Now the way it goes downwards is literally the complete opposite. So imagine if you flip this thing upside down, it will just work like that. So instead of this firing first, it would be this one firing first to get it initially downwards, and then this one firing upwards, pulling it down, this one would retracting, and then what would happen is this one would extend, this one would extend, this one would retract, and this one would retract, this one would extend, this would extend, this would retract, this would retract. There we go. So this is what the elevator looks like slowed down. So if you look, the elevator, so the slime and hooded blocks, they come down before they get pushed up. So if I look over here, as you can see, you can sort of get an example of how this thing works. So it pulls it down, it pushes up, pulls it down, pushes up. So now we delve deeper into this elevator, as we are going to be taking a look at the actual selection panel itself. Each of these buttons, by the way, all they do is to get each signal down to here. So once the signal has been traveling downwards, it will travel all the way down here like so, and then with a little bit of delay, it activates this dispenser right so. Now all this does is just make sure that none of the buttons have been pressed before this block. So basically, let's say we pressed number 9, and see that block would retract afterwards, which means that if you pressed anything else other than number 9, it wouldn't mess everything up, as it wouldn't have activated these things. So then let's say you activated 50 and 4. As you can see, currently 50 has been activated over here. There you can tell, because if you take a look, as you see, that comparator is off, but when that comparator turns back on, it would reinstate these pistons up here, which means that the number 4 will be able to extend. As you can see the actual pulses in that repeater over there, but as that stop any minute now, it extends, meaning that the number 4 can activate it. That's basically, if they did it at the same time, you would just get one pulse over here, and that's no good, of course. That would only take you to floor number 1. So if we follow this signal tunnel, as you can see, basically it just takes up all the way through here. You carry on following this line, you go over here. Now normally this would be extended, however I've just turned it off. This is basically just an on and off switch, so I just turned it off. So it'll go all the way across here, and then it would make its way to this torch tower. So this goes onto every single one of these levels, and it gets to this dropper here. So what this is this is a counter. So down here, this is basically just like an exploded version of this counter. It's massive. It's just gigantic. So basically how this works is there is exactly 7 items in this dropper. So when we press that button 7 times, all those items would have gone into this locked hopper over here, meaning that this torch will turn on. So let's say we click this 7 times, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. That torch turns on. However, it does stay on, as all the other counters that I've seen, they always reset it. So I've had to make my own here, and that is because all the items have gone into here and they've moved into this hopper over here. So basically what this button does over here is it's just a reset button. So every time we reset this, all of the items, no matter how many there is in this hopper, will go into this dropper. So let's click this. As you can see, yeah, basically it just stores it until all the hoppers are gone. So once you click this, it will lock this repeater, meaning it cannot turn back on until every item has gone out of it. However, there is one problem with this thing, as that is because if we activate it more than 7, so that's 7, but now this is 8, and it is still on, meaning that, let's say we went all the way up to 60, every single one of these floors would have turned on, because we've activated 60 times, which is going to include 14, all of that, because everyone below it would turn on, which is what this sticky piston does. So what this does is basically, if the floor above it is activated, then it will block this off, so this floor will become unactivated. So the same with this one. So because floor number 2 is still selected, let's say it moved up to floor number 3, so this sticky piston would extend, cutting this redstone line off, meaning that floor number 2 would no longer be activated. I hope you got that. That's pretty confusing, that is. Anyway, that's all for me, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.